Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Scorpio in the month of July 2019. Hello, Scorpio. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. All right, Scorpio. Happy belated 4th of July, if that's a saying. It's probably not, but happy 4th of July to those who were celebrating here in the States or anywhere in the world. The Independence Day of America. I hope you had a good time. I was working, so I don't know anything about it. Anyway, if you were celebrating, again, hope you had a fabulous time with people that you know, love, and care about, and who love you back. Quick apology, guys, if you were here on my channel looking and hoping for the mid-Junes. Sorry. You know, I'm a regular human being. I need many things in life. But one of those things that I needed was a break. I just did not have the energy nor the time that I could give to putting out the mid-messages, so I apologize for skipping that, but c'est la vie, yeah? Anything else? I feel like there's something else I'm supposed to tell you guys or announce, but I don't know. So let's just go with it. Let's just say I don't have anything to tell you, even though I feel like I'm supposed to. I don't think I can't remember at the time, so, or at this moment. Anyway, shuffled off camera. That's your main spread there. We're going to shuffle now on camera for your outcome and your overall energy, Scorp. Once all the cards are out and they're lying face up on the table, that's when the reading begins. Check in the description box if you want to jump ahead. You do have these two coming out, Five of Wands and the Death card, so there you are in your own pre-shuffle. Death card, major arcana card for Scorpio. And the Five of Wands, so defensiveness or petty arguments or some type of scrap, some type of disagreement, some type of argument maybe over some type of change, or something in your own demeanor might be off-putting to certain people, and so you might be on the defense or the offensive, but there's maybe a disquieted energy between you and another person, or you and a group of people. Okay, all right, so as I was saying, let's go ahead and shuffle for that outcome. Okay, please show me Scorpio's outcome in July 2019. Scorpio outcome for July 2019, please show me. Did something flip? Oh, it did. And I'm all going through it. It did flip. Okay. I didn't really feel it, but there it is. That's your outcome. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy. Something like made me say, open your eyes. Look at the deck. I'm like, oh, it flipped. Okay. All right. So let's see what else came for you. Face down like that. Okay. Well. Look what we have here. All right, let's figure out what's going on here, Scorpio. Please show me Scorpio in July 2019. Please show me where Scorpio is in July 2019. Please show me. Okay. All right, we got there. Took a minute, but we got there. All right, Scorpio. Coming into July 2019, you come in with the Ace of Cups in reverse. Show you this card upright so you can become used to it, but it's kind of easy to discern even if it's in the reverse. Ace of Cups, water sign energy, so Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. So you're within your own wheelhouse, you're within your own element. So this is an energy that will feel familiar to you as it is a card in the water suit. Now, or in the water element, I should say. You're not feeling the love. You're not feeling like you want to be loved or that you want to give love. There's just a no. Rejection or avoidance of whatever is emotional right now to you. There's a tenderness and a vulnerability that usually comes with the Ace of Cups. There's an affectionate energy or an effusive energy that comes with the Ace of Cups, usually when it's in the upright. But in this reverse position, I just feel like there's a resistance to this, or a rejection of this, or a denial of this if it's not rejection or anything like that. I feel there's a no. There's just a no on the Ace of Cups. And in terms of what it traditionally is, which is an offer or an opportunity, a chance, a potential, there's a no here. Coming from you, being given to you, it'll go either way in a general reading. If I'm honest, I feel it's mostly coming from you, Scorpio. I feel that you're mostly giving this out. You're like handing people the no badge. Like you're stamping people's paperwork. No, no, no. So that could be for some of you who are out there dating. You're just like swiping left on everybody. Like, nope, no thank you, nope, no way, never, It's just like, nothing is getting past you. Nothing is getting past, your gatekeepers. If that's your mind, your heart, your guides, whatever, your friends, I don't know. But there's this avoidance and rejection, just like hands down, avoiding, rejecting. It'll go either way for you. And there's subtle differences in that, right? Rejection could be things are coming to you and they're being offered, and you're just saying, no. Like straight up, like giving the verbal or giving the indication of I'm not interested. The avoidance could be for some of you where there could be a connection between you and a person, or you have interest in a person, but you're denying it to yourself. You're denying yourself the opportunity. You're denying yourself the chance or the potential for something to have arrived like this. So it came reversed. So it's going to go either way. And, it's a general reading. So we have to compensate for everybody's different experiences here. But regardless of how you come at it or how you slice this thing, Scorpio, you're just not interested. Or, I shouldn't say you're not interested, because there is a group of you that are interested and you're just avoiding. So it's more of you're just not acting upon it in either situation. If you're rejecting, you're not saying yes. If you're avoiding, you're not saying yes. You're just not taking the opportunity that's being given to you for whatever reason. And I feel, even for some of those in the rejection group where you're just like saying no to everybody and you're swiping left, even for that group where you're actively saying no because you honestly don't feel a connection with people, or you're not interested in dating, or you're not interested in the people that you are dating, somewhere deep inside of most of you Scorpios, there's this lovelorn thing going on. God, this is gonna be so shitty because I don't like it. I don't like saying it, but there's a neglected child, like that childhood wound thing that I think a lot of us in the esoteric and spiritual community are aware of. There's like that wounded childhood wounds, childhood trauma, and I'm not trying to downplay what you've experienced, with my tone, but it's like sort of, we all have it, so it's kind of like, it's not unique, it's not anything that isn't normal, but you're feeling as if it is abnormal, as if you're the only person. And I'm letting you know, not just within the Scorpio community or within people who are born under the sign of Scorpio, everybody has childhood wounds, my friend. Everybody has all kinds of trauma and bullshit that was given to them or not embellished, but imparted on them by their parents. Whether your parents were good people or bad people, doesn't matter. We all have bullshit that we're trying to get through and deal with and heal in our adult lives. But some of you Scorpios are feeling like you're the only person dealing with this, and because you're quote unquote damaged, or because you're in whatever phase you're in your healing process, it's just, you'll never have this. It'll never come to you this way. You'll never be able to offer this to someone. And it's just like, give me a break. Like, I don't think I'm channeling that from you. I might be channeling that from someone who's around you, or maybe that's your spirit guides, maybe that's your intuition. But let me tell you something. This has come in reverse because that's how you're wanting to take it. Now, for some of you, you are dealing with duds. You do have good standards. You should stick to your guns. But others of you, you do have viable choices in your romantic life, whether you know these people now or whether they're out there in your city, in your town, just waiting to be met, just waiting to be interacted with. You know, it's going to be different for everybody. But most of you Scorpios just feel like, no, there's nobody for me. Nobody could love me, or I can't give my love to anybody. Everybody treats me like shit. And it's just like, whatever your reasoning, sir or madam, part of it is self-professed and self-replicated. Like, you're believing this thing that isn't necessarily true in many of your cases. And now you just view it as the truth. Now again, aces are opportunities and chances, right? Potentials. Some of you, you're swiping left on somebody who could be amazing. Some of you are not even looking, and the person that could be your match sits right beside you at work. Or you know them through, you know, whatever communities you belong to. If you belong to, you know, a local actors guild, they could be your stage manager or something like that. But you would never, because, you know, he's over 30. Like, you're, you know, you're like in your mid-20s and this guy's like 38, or this woman, it doesn't matter. And you're just like, he's like old. He's like my older cousin. I don't want to date somebody that old. And it's just like, is that really a reason to reject or avoid what you possibly intuitively know deep in the back of your mind or deep within your gut is a potential match for you? That's interesting. And this is like, I don't think that I'm channeling what you consciously know or what you consciously believe. I might be channeling something that people are telling you around you, but Scorpio, you usually keep a lot of this shit under your hat. So I don't even think a lot of people know that you're actively in this Ace of Cups reverse energy. I think people think like you're just going about your life. All right, Scorpio, sorry about that. I had to, forgot to clean up my storage, so I lost space. But I didn't go on too long after I looked over and I saw the camera had stopped recording. So what was I saying? Yeah, here with the Ace of Cups. I don't think you are letting people know exactly how disenchanted you are in terms of love and romance. And, you know, it's this Ace of Cups has really hit me as I'm interacting with it here, has really hit me in your, like I said, your love and your romance sector. This could be love in any sense, though. You know, if you're happily married and you are not actively dating, this could be love and romance, or love and connection, rather. Let's say love and connection with friends and family, or just, you know, your fellow man. Some of you are looking around at humanity going, oh my God, you know, where's that infinity gauntlet? I want to snap my fingers right now, you know? So some of you are just like really avoidant of connecting with other people, whether it's romantically or platonically. You're just not wanting to give of yourself from your heart because of these childhood traumas, these even recent traumas or recent events in your life that have proven to you that, you know, love is not a thing that you can trust. Love is not a thing that will make you happy. It's something about your past experiences here, and it's clouded your judgment. At least that's what I feel energetically. Because Scorpio, you know, you can be quite an ultimate energy or a finalistic energy. You know, fixed sign energy and water. Oh my gosh. And the 8th house. Come on. There's a lot of finality here. There's a lot of, it's either this or it's nothing at all. It's either this or it's that. And there's no middle ground. There's not a lot of negotiation or wiggle room sometimes with you. And I think many of you are tussling with your own intuition or your own spiritual or soulful conviction about that. You know, a lot of you are having an epiphany of sorts, or an awakening of sorts to, oh my God, there's a gray area here. Yes, there's a gray area, you know? And I'm not just saying that as a person, I'm saying that as a reader. I'm not saying that for my own conviction, which it is. I do believe heavily in the gray area. But from a spiritual standpoint, the universe is not all light or darkness. Our days are not full of sunlight or only moonlight. We get both. And they transition seamlessly. You know, when the sun comes up or when it goes down, it's a gradient. Oh my God. Oh, I thought it stopped recording for a second. My bad. But it's not a gradient experience. Or it is a gradient experience. It's not like a flip of a switch, like you walk into a room and you turn the lights on and off, where, you know, suddenly the room is dark and then boom, everything is illuminated at once. Very shocking, very cut and dry, right? The sunrise, the passage of time, the ebbs and flows of our lives usually comes in a very seamless way. Gradient, gray. It blends the two. You can't really tell when and where the day stops and the night begins. You know? That's what I think many of you believe or know deep inside, but you're resistant to it, or you're just now waking up to it and you don't really know what to do, because in your day-to-day reality, this sucks, that sucks, I have pain here, I have loss here, I have all kinds of wounding from my childhood, and you're not able necessarily to make heads or tails of it just yet. Okay? And maybe that's why. Maybe you're going through this healing process, and so you are within your right. Number one, you're within your right to do whatever you want. But I feel a lot of you, because you're going through this transition, or you're going through this healing phase, or you're going through this phase of awakening, you are definitely not in the mood, or definitely not in the head or heart space to be open to any type of love connection or any type of effusive communal thing with anybody. Friend, family, lover, it doesn't matter. Yeah? So that's a very intense place to start, because, you know, I don't know. It's just, I feel there's a lot of like downtrodden, pessimistic energy there. But now that I'm looking at the board, that kind of makes fucking sense. So all around you, practically, you have all of these swords. And you've got these particular characters. So I think we're going to talk about them for... Yes, because we've got a pair. Okay, here we go. We've got... Together? Really? I think we're going to talk about it together. Let me double check. Because normally I don't take cards that don't come out in the same position together, but I think we will. Clear that, please. Thank you. Yes. Wow, that's interesting, Scorpio. Consider yourselves very special. Because, again, I don't normally pick up two cards that are not already in the same position and talk about them together. I think I've only done this, like, once before. So, King of Swords and Queen of Swords on either side of your starting position. Now, that mention that I had in the beginning about childhood and how, to me, it's like a little cliched, but ultimately I'm not trying to downplay your experience. This could be representing your parental figures, whether they're male or female, male and male, female and female. Maybe it's one person, but there's this dynamic duo of leadership, right? King and queen of this particular suit, air quality, swords. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You might have parents of either of those or any of those zodiacs, but you don't have to. The King and Queen of Swords are very, when they're together, my gosh, they're very complementary, right? And I think they're the couple, if it is a couple, again, you might have been raised by a single parent, but it's the energy of how these two characters would get along in a real life scenario. This would be the couple that is intellectual, smart in whatever way you or they deem themselves smart. So they don't have to be academics, or they don't have to be, they don't have to be, rocket scientists or anything like that, but they're intellectual and they're smart and they're very wise, or informed, I should say, very informed in some way or another. So if they're experts about something, they could be experts about carpentry. They've never gone to college, but they just know everything and anything about carpentry together. They have an intellectual bond in that way. So they probably share a lot of the same hobbies or share a lot of the same interests. And they can really converse amongst themselves. Like, this would be the couple that they show up to the party, but they spend like the majority of the time like talking amongst themselves, or they're in a couple and then a third person talks to them, and they kind of, not in a lovey-dovey way, but they don't really want to get into conversations with other people because other people will talk about things they're not interested in, right? So they're kind of self-absorbed in that way, on an intellectual way, in that way. They are also very adversarial. This pair, they're like always on the brink of divorce, or they are divorcees, but they still hang around the same people. Like, they didn't sever friendships in the divorce. Or if they're your parents and they're divorced and you're their child and they are bound to come to your graduation. They're bound to come and wish you well as you go off on your backpacking journey for the summer. And they go at each other's throats. War of the Roses type shit, you know? They're so similar that they end up repelling each other. You know, they're so the same, but they're so, like, they can't stand each other. So when they get along fine. When they're at their best, they're a wonderful pair. They can be charming in the sense of Swords deals with communication, so they have many things they can talk about, but like I said, they're kind of experts or very fixed on like a particular subject that they both enjoy, that they both kind of, really gravitate towards. Go away, Nat. Oh, I got you. Oh, and there's a plant in this room, and I think it's giving off these gnats, and so I'm gonna have to work on that. Anyway, so it's kind of like that. Like, like if you look at it, he's out there tending the barbecue, making the skewers, making the kebabs, and he's looking fine. She's over there tending to the rose, tending the garden, and they both seem pleasant enough. But it's like that weird thing, because look at him. He's kind of like cautiously like looking over his shoulder towards her area, like, is she coming? Is she there? And she's just like, I am just having a wonderful time here today. And she's all smiley, but she's about to cut that rose. She's about to cut that rose, which has a man's head on it or his face on it. So she's like on the brink of destruction, or on the brink of destroying something, of taking a head off, So it's also that couple where, in public, they play the get along game. They exchange pleasantries. They're cracking jokes at the party. They're all, laughs and smiles in front of everybody else. But then they're also that couple where, one of them taps the other. Can I talk to you for a second? I just want to say something over here. Just let's step outside. And then they go outside, and all you hear is from the other room. That's who they are. Is that your parents? Is that you in a couple? I don't know. But it's like this simmering, not simmering, but like, it's always on the brink of a boil up, on the brink of explosion with these two, because they're both the same. They're both in charge of something. He's manning the grill. She's in charge of the garden, right? They both tend to something. They both are active people in whatever way they're active, right? And they both kind of want to not lead the show, but they don't want to be, thank you. There we go. And that actually would make sense. If you think about it, if you know anything about the tarot, and this is just something that I'm kind of feeling in this moment. of all the potential pairs in the court cards, King and Queen of Wands, King and Queen of Cups, King and Queen of Pentacles, King and Queen of Swords. These two, out of those 4 sets, are the least to want to be seen as a couple. Are the least to want to be seen as, oh, that's my partner over there. We're the same. We're equals here. We're just as accomplished as the other. Like these two are outdoing one another. They're trying to show the other one up. No, maybe not show the other one up, but certainly would be quicker to criticize their partner than any of the other pairs. You know? Oh, your husband's so smart. He's really cool and I like talking with him. Well, you should see him at home. That's her. Oh, your wife is beautiful and she's really, I didn't know she went to Brown. Yeah, well, when she went to Brown, she also did this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, they shit talk each other to their friends, to their mutual friends, or to their family. It's like really divisive, like passive aggressive bullshit. Okay? So you're either experiencing that now, or there's something in your life, Scorpio, that this is a very significant relationship where you see them taking bites at each other, taking swipes at each other, this pair of people. Could be your parents, could be your grandparents, could be your brother and his wife, could be you and your ex-partner. It could be even not romantic people. It could be your best friends. It could be business partners. I don't know. But it has left a sour taste in your mouth. And you're working on getting over that shit. Or you're realizing, oh man, the reason I don't like so-and-so, or the reason I don't like these qualities in people is because that's what I grew up around. I hate people who get drunk at parties and then let family secrets out. Why do I hate that? Oh yeah, Uncle Tommy and Aunt Beth. Oh man, they used to do that shit all the time. Given that we recently came away from the 4th of July, this could have been like a recent awakening for some of you at a family cookout or party or whatever. Like, oh man, I don't want to go on any dates for a while because I just witnessed 2 of my family members who are supposed to love each other, who are supposed to be this partnership, this union of 2 people. They're just going at it like cats and dogs, or they're being really rude and passive aggressive to each other in the middle of a festive time. These 2, when they're on and it's fine, but when they're off with each other, and I can't blame you, that would upset me too. So I think your experience here in your present moment with that Ace of Cups has really reverted you back. Thank you. I feel a reversion back into, that would make sense. A lot of water signs are known to do that. You are known to retreat. When things are uncomfortable for any water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, you're known to retreat, to go back to something that's familiar, to go back to something that feels safe and comfortable. So what feels safe and comfortable for Scorpio right now? No dates, not making any type of new connections or denying a connection that already exists. Whatever you're doing. I do not blame you. Totally makes sense. But remember, this Ace of Cups, I feel, is a potential for something good. And you possibly consciously know that what happened in your past with your parents or whoever, that's their relationship. You don't have to act that way if you don't want to. Or maybe you've seen signs of that within your past relationships. Maybe you acted that way at the recent barbecue. And you're like, oh, I was really rude to my partner. Or I was really, biting and taking swipes at him or her. It doesn't matter. And you're realizing, oh man, that's how my parents used to behave at parties. That's how my cousins used to act. That's how whoever used to act. I've learned to be this. And now you're like gun shy. Now you're like, oh my God, I can't go further. I can't go further with this relationship. I'm going to turn into this. It's going to turn into War of the Roses, but my generation, And you're just like petrified to continue. So you stop. Yeah. And that's okay. Okay. And that's here. Thank you. 5 of Swords. 5 of Swords traditionally talks about arguments, it talks about disagreements, it talks about people having petty arguments and sort of either blowing things out of proportion or just like trying to win at all costs, trying to be the victor in a situation, a victor in a discussion, the victor in an argument, even though it doesn't get you anything to win. That some of that is there for some of you. But what I'm really drawn to is we've got all these scissors, which are taking the place of swords or knives, right, for the moment. And we have one pair of hands. Now, one pair of hands, or not even one pair of hands, one hand doesn't need 5 different pairs of scissors to cut out this dress. Yeah? So there's like an overkill here. There's like overdoing it. It's like way too much. Take one pair of scissors, cut along the dotted line, and eventually you're going to have what you want. So that's there, where you or the situation itself is just too much. You don't need all of that to get what you want. You don't need all of that to accomplish what you want to accomplish. Yeah? So, like I said, arguments, disagreements, reactions in some cases, you know, if you're driving home with your boyfriend or girlfriend from the party and you're having like this inner realization of, oh my God, I'm turning into my mother. Oh my God, I'm turning into my father. And I shouldn't have said these things to my partner. And you're just like sitting in the car seat freaking out. And you're just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then, you know, your partner says, so what was that about? How come this? And you again bite their head off. You know, it's not, you know, I don't know why you're jumping down my throat like this. It's not a big deal. And you continue down this path of trying to get them to dislike you. Some of you are doing that. Like you're putting all this effort into making yourself into the bad guy because I don't know. There's one or a few of you are doing that, and that's unfortunate because I don't think that's necessary. I think if you have an honest dialogue and you admit, oh my God, I don't want to become like my mom or my dad, I think people would understand, but I don't know your situation. You know it better than I do. So the other part here, Scorpio, that I'm drawn to is the cutting out. Regardless of how many pairs of scissors are there, there's one hand, presumably your hand or the hand of whoever is significant in this position, of wanting to cut it out, remove it. Yeah? Avoid it. Okay, what we talked about with that Ace of Cups in reverse. So there's the intention of annexing something, of getting something out of the way, of no longer participating in something, or removing a person or removing yourself. If they're not going to be removed from the situation, you will remove yourself from the situation. And there's just this intention to no longer engage in a certain way, no longer move forward in a certain way, stopping, you know? Oh, wow. Just a second, guys. One of these gnats is... I'm sorry, for those who are sensitive, I'm sorry, I'm gonna try and kill this gnat. Give me a second. Got him. I'm sorry. There's too many in this room. I have to get rid of them. Anyway, and no remnants, so that was a good, clean kill. Anyway, so removing something, arguing for the sake of arguing, not really having a sound, even killed or like clear, just like is how I feel about that Five of Swords. Now, it's under the King of Swords, so is there any significance there? King of Swords and the Five of Swords. Yeah, I could see that. Where if you're looking at your own dynamic now, or you're remembering your parents or whatever it is, there could be some realization that attaches to the King of Swords, whether it's a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. But whoever would embody that King of Swords energy where, you know, again, looking over the shoulder, are they here? Okay, good, they're not here. So let me go ahead and do this. So there's like a stirring of the pot energy with this person combined with that Five of Swords. Like, don't tell anybody I told you this, but, and then blah, 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 blah. Or, you know, knowing that somebody has an issue with someone in, like over here, person A absolutely can't stand when person B does this, or they can't stand that person B has this success in their life, so they go to person A and say, hey, you know, person B just got promoted. And then person A jumps down or jumps all over person B. Is just like, oh, you just think you're so cool. And it's like this instigating. That is the word. Instigation. With the Five of Swords sometimes. With that, the King of Swords might be embodying that energy of being an instigator, of being a shit stir, right? That line from, what was that, Batman Begins or Batman whatever. Some men just like to watch the world burn. Or some people want to watch the, whatever. It's like that kind of energy, like chaos creator, or somebody who, for their shits and giggles, for their pleasure, likes to see other people uncomfortable or other people engaged in just immature, really, if that's what this person does. Over here, Ace of Swords. Yes, we'll talk about that, because now that I've linked it, I think I feel what's going on there. Ace of Swords on the other side. So for you, Scorpio, there's a truth here in the situation, which is, like I said, I think you're awakening to it. I think that it's kind of in you to recognize it, in you to kind of be able to utilize it or work with it. But there's a little bit of a distance here, and there's apprehension here. Because again, you got that Ace of Cups up there in reverse. Or some of you are doing this. Instead of working in your own wheelhouse of Cups energy, you're taking up the Swords energy. You're taking up this direct, no-nonsense way of communication, which has a time and a place, but right now, given everything that's on your board, it can be a little sharp, it can be a little biting, it can be a little off-putting. And if you're doing that, I think it's a defense mechanism, if I'm honest. Okay? I think you're doing it so that you don't get hurt. So sometimes, you know, that can be a Scorpio's way. Let me sting them first with my big old Scorpio stinger to avoid any potential hurt or any potential bad feelings on my part down the line. You know, a lot of people do that. Strike first. You know, be the first one to say, you know what, I'm done with this. Cut off communication, dump the person before they dump you. Like, that could be some of your guys' reality. I'm gonna dump him before he dumps me. Does he really want to dump you? Can you be sure? Part of you is saying, oh my God, he's going to dump us. That could have been the furthest thing from the truth. But you're convincing yourself, I have to act aggressively or put myself on the offense in order to create a good defense. Okay? And maybe that's what you're doing to, like, a lot of people, because look at all those cakes and pies there. You might be using this Ace of Swords quite freely, yeah? I don't think it's, like, I can't sit here and tell you don't do it because it's your life and you can do what you want. But I feel like you're doing it, and many of you know you don't want to be doing this. You would much rather be doing that. Ace of Cups in the upright. You would much rather have that. But since you've turned away that energy, or it's too painful for you to deal with right now, it's too much, you're not fully awakened to it, you're not fully healed from it, so instead I do this. And a lot of times with the Ace of Swords, it's a like a sword would be, you swing it around and it keeps people a distance away from you. If someone literally was on the street corner swinging a sword around their body, most people would stay the fuck away from them. So that's kind of what I'm feeling for you. You're talking in a certain way, you're presenting yourself in a certain way, you're swiping left on people who you might normally want to swipe right on, but you just don't want to risk matching with them, or people match you and they message you and you don't message them back. Whatever. You're doing any and everything to keep people at a distance because you're just not, either you're too vulnerable or you don't want to get to a vulnerable place. Okay? Now, in combination, because again, I linked these two. So I'm going to link these two. And I can see it right now. Whoever the Queen of Swords is, that's her MO too. So if this was your mother or whoever was in your in the dynamic or in the pair that you watched growing up, whoever it is, male or female, it doesn't matter. That person is very loose-lipped. Very loose lips. Cannot keep a secret. Will not keep a secret. Right? This person over here, again, the King of Swords with the Five of Swords, divisive. Very, sneakily, like planting seeds. Like, oh, did you hear what Tom said? And da-da-da. And then so-and-so runs over and confronts Tom. And then this person's in the background, like rubbing their hands together. They're very pleased with their handiwork. This person, straight shooter. just calls people on their shit, right? So this person with that Ace of Swords would probably go to their partner, King of Swords, and be like, you told him that, didn't you? You went and you said this. You blah, 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 blah. And you're over here, like, would tell the whole party. I just want you all to know, my good friend or my husband, my wife, King of Swords, whoever, who I'm here with, is a total SOB, and he or she is in here stirring the pot with all of you, being a complete asshole. And then they like take their little drink and go sit down by the pool and they relax. This person, so straightforward, so blunt, so loose with the opinions and loose with their words and with their directness with people, that they end up isolating themselves. So they do go and sit down by the pool on the lounge chair, and they sit there by themselves for the next 5 hours of the party. They don't go into the house, they don't go in to eat, they don't get into the pool, they just sit out there by themselves alone. If these were your parents or anybody that you looked up to as a kid, I'm sorry that you did not have a shining example to look up to. And if this is like coming to you like, I don't know, it's just like, I feel, and I understand this because I've gone through this myself, where it's like, if that's what I grew up around and if that's my example, then how could I ever be different than those people? And it's a thing, I'm no expert, I'm no therapist, I'm no counselor of any type, really, certified at least. I end up counseling people a lot. But as much as you might feel like you carry on those traditions or you carry on those behaviors, you carry on those attributes, you really don't have to. We all live our individual lives. We all have our own free will and autonomy, yeah? And when if you do recognize these qualities within yourself and you're like, well, that's the proof I need, Jay. I see it in myself. I've done this. You don't have to do it. If you're conscious that you behave in either way, like the King of Swords or the Queen of Swords, and you don't want to, you don't have to. Certain things within your personality are within your control. And even if they're not in your control, and sometimes in the heat of the moment you fly off the handle and you say too many truths, you give too many home truths at the party, or you bait people into a disagreement, into an argument, and you stand back and you watch your handiwork unfold. If you see yourself doing that, even after it falls out and people are upset, you can always go back and apologize, and you can own your shit. Be like, listen, I knew that you guys hated each other. I knew that you guys were gonna fight if I said that. And that's why I said it. I was being a total dick. And then that allows other people to check you. So the next time that you do try to stir the pot, or the next time that you do come with your bag of truths and you got a martini in one hand and you're ready to spill all everybody's secrets at the party, people are going to pull you aside. Hey, Scorpio, listen. Remember last time we got together and you did this? You're about to do it now. Or I see you're starting to do that now. I think you need to check yourself. It's as simple as that. Own this. Some of you are playing like, oh, I don't have control. Oh, I can't help myself. And again, you're withdrawing. You're taking it into yourself. Well, you're like making yourself like the Hunchback of Notre Dame or something like that. Making yourself into like this monster, like Frankenstein. Nobody will love me. Like, please. We're all adults. And like I said, it's not just Scorpios that have a shit mom and a shit dad growing up or shit examples of what it is to be an adult. Many people, most people have that experience to some degree. Okay? So you're not, unfortunately, in this circumstance, Scorpio, you're not special. Okay? Now, your outlier. I feel this is quite an outlier because I'm not really sure where this is going to play into your reading. But here you have the Strength card, your final card in the main spread. Major Arcana card for Leo, so some of you might have a Leo of significance in your life, but you don't have to. But okay, they gave it to me as I look down at this. Listen, this is a mess. And what do we have here? Some Brillo pads, some steel pads, some steel scrub pads, right? This whole thing that I've talked about this whole time has been quite messy. So there is this need to clean it up. Yeah? Now this could come in the form of someone who is embodying the qualities of the Strength card or embodying the qualities of a Leo. And that would, oh wow, that's funny. That's kind of funny. Because in Leo's reading, I did it, last week or earlier this week? I don't freaking remember. But I know in June, there was an issue with Leo of needing to fix something, but it was not their thing to fix. And that's kind of like tying in here, so go check that out. Even if you're not involved with a Leo, there was a quality of fix it, but not knowing how to fix it or not being prepared or able to fix it. And that's kind of here a little bit. You need to fix it yourself, your outlook on life, your childhood wounds, whatever. But are you necessarily prepared? Do you necessarily have the right tools or resources at your disposal? Do you have the right people around you? That's where the Strength card comes in. Not that you need to go to a Leo person or someone who embodies these qualities, but you need to get ready. Roll up your sleeves. Get that elbow grease going. You need to put in this work. You need to be strong enough to put in this work. If you know that you sabotage relationships, or you are sabotaging a new relationship, you're sabotaging a relationship from the past. Maybe you dumped somebody and they were perfect for you. Maybe. Maybe you dumped somebody and maybe they weren't perfect, but they were possibly the best person you've ever dated, or they were a nice person or whatever. And you sabotaged it. Can you fix it? Do you want to fix it? Number one. If you don't want to fix it, this is not for you. But if you do, you got to be strong. And you got to own what you've done. You've got to own your familial history. Some people will view it as a cop-out. It all depends on who they are and how they receive the message. Also depends on how you deliver the message. But for me, I think if you own, listen, maybe I've treated my ex-boyfriends like crap because my mom was a goddamn praying mantis, and she ripped the heads off of all of her ex-husbands. Maybe that's it. Maybe if you're a guy, maybe I treat women in my life like crap because my dad was always shit-talking my mom behind her back and making her feel less than. Something like that. I don't know what's in your history, but you know. And if you see this pattern evolving in your life, and you can pinpoint in your life how these things are connected and understand yourself, it will take strength to then tell other people, well, even if you just tell your friends, even if you tell your therapist, even if you tell your parents, hey, listen, you guys were garbage. I am now garbage junior, and I don't want to be garbage junior. I'm trying to change my life. So I need to stay away from your toxicity, or I need to stay away from you guys when you drink too much, or when you start, bad-mouthing each other, or bad-mouthing your friends, or bad-mouthing me, or bad-mouthing my brother and sister, whatever. You have to step up. And there it is. You started here. So foundationally, what's underneath you? What do you need to support you? What do you need to walk on or engage with in order to progress forward? Foundational strength. Strength card is about overcoming Strength card is about facing your demons, facing adversity, and triumphing over it. If you've been wounded in your childhood, or if you've been wounded in your adult life, maybe something else happened in your life that was traumatic and that has really scarred you. I don't know. Face that shit. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. You can continue down this road if you choose. And I feel this is a challenge to you guys. Some of you are hearing this and you're just like uncomfortable. Be uncomfortable, my friend. Because again, I think a lot of you are just like coming to this realization and you're just like, oh shit, this is new information for me. This is new territory for me. I've never felt this way before. I've never thought these things before. I've never connected these dots from my childhood to my adolescence to my adulthood, and now I'm in my 50s and oh my god, why am I still single? Or how come I'm 3 times divorced? And now you're just like, oh shit, now I know why. That's blowing your mind. Congratulations. That's always cool. I like when my mind is blown. It's uncomfortable, and that's why I'm like so cavalier with you guys. I've been uncomfortable when my mind is blown. I'm just like, damn, I didn't realize until just this moment what all that meant. Son of a bitch. But what happens for me personally on the other side is, man, relief, new beginnings, okay? That's all possible if you want it. If you do not want it, you won't have it. But like I said earlier, I feel most of you have this thing where you want that Ace of Cups upright. But you're convinced in the here and now, in your conscious mind, in your ego-based mind, ego is based on fear, right? That it can't be. Let me tell you something, it can be if you want it. But if you don't, you don't. It's your choice. Outcome. Page of Cups. So here we go. I just did Libra's reading, and I told them I don't resonate with children. But in their reading, this Page of Cups came out, and it was heavily based on children. For you, maybe a few of you are dealing with kids. This is not. No, and I don't know why I had to mention that. I guess I had to mention that because some of you have a child in the mix, and it like makes things difficult. You know, if you're a single parent, or you're recently pregnant, or recently divorced, and you've got children in the mix, or something like that, or you. That's how. I'm like, duh. I'm like, why am I talking about kids? I haven't talked about kids. I did talk about kids when you were a kid, Scorpio. So that could be what we're having here, is this recognition of vulnerability, this recognition of a child either here in your present moment, or a child that's within you from your past, from your subconscious, from your spiritual trauma, or your if you believe in past lives, maybe you had a past life experience that was traumatic in childhood, but there's this vulnerability around children or childhood. And I think it needs attention drawn to it. So again, if you've got a kid with you and you're dating and you're single and you've avoided dating, maybe some of you avoided dating because you've been focused on your own kid. I can't date anybody right now. I've got a young child and they're my priority. And you're thinking, man, they're 6. And that's 12 years until they're 18. And maybe even like 4 to 6 years after that, they'll be in college. That's a long time to put your kid as the priority. You're going to be single for the next 15 years of your life? Is that really what you want? Some of you are convinced, yeah, that's what I want. It's what I need. It's what's necessary to bring my kid up right. Okay, if that's what you want. But again, I think the majority of you Scorpios don't believe this. You're just going with what your ego has convinced you of. You're going with what you believe is inherited from your parents. I don't know. Anyway, so if it's not an actual kid in your life that you're looking out for, it would be the child within you, or the child that you used to be, that you once were growing up. And there's this tenderness and this vulnerability here that needs to be considered, needs to be gotten in contact with. Maybe this is like the first time you've really thought about what happened in your childhood growing up. And so now you've got to really evaluate, really get into the historic records. Maybe there are records you need to go and look at. I don't know. Maybe there's old like home videos you need to go look at. You know, you have a distinct memory of a certain argument or a certain something, and there's like, you know, video footage. Oh my God, you know, Christmas 89. I don't know. But there's this reversion to children or childhood that's important. And interestingly, the pages are the initial offer. They're this very like earnest, very cute, or very precious, I'm going to put quotes on that, precious offer of something in whatever suit we're talking. So in the case of the Page of Cups, this is an earnest, precious offer of love, of affection, of emotion, of some type of, you know, connection from the heart space. Yeah? That's important here. And that ties back into this Ace of Cups because that's the opportunity, right? Page carries one cup in that Ace of Cups here. Yeah? That's important. I don't know how that fits into your life, whether you need to accept offers, whether you need to give them out, or whether you're hesitant to receive or hesitant to give them out. Wherever you are on your journey, Scorpio, you know better than I. But there's this exchange and there's this potential to give or to receive, but there's some block going on here. There's a resistance, there's a reluctance, there's an avoidance, or as I said earlier, a rejection. Overall energy for July, the Sun card, secondary major arcana for Leo. So again, a Leo might be important to you, but they do not have to be. But the Sun, is heavily tied to joy and happiness, elation, total emotional fulfillment, or just the epitome of all good feelings, all good vibes. Yeah? Additionally, although it's not really here, if you look at the traditional tarot, especially in the Rider-Waite deck, you have a small baby, like a toddler, or even just a small child on a horse. So sometimes people will link that to children or childhood, and that might be possible since we talked a good deal about that today. But also what we see here is this like happy couple, you know, the sort of the anchors of a happy family, the husband, the wife, although of course it doesn't have to be traditional. We could be talking about husband, husband, wife, wife. We could be talking about husband, husband, wife, or husband, wife, wife, whatever your situation is. But there's this very effusive connection between these two people, overseen or overlooked by this very happy sun with two sunny side up eggs for eyes. But, you know, it's just like delight and joy. Now, as an overall energy, we talked about a lot of heavy stuff here. We talked about a lot of uncomfortable things here. But overall, we are in a discussion about being fulfilled. And you're in a moment of lack right now, of not being fulfilled. But thematically, you want to be fulfilled. You want to be happy. So, work in progress. Absolutely, this is a work in progress. And I don't presume to know your situation, Scorpio. You're all going to have different walks in life. You're all going to have different experiences. But I think your work is cut out for you. And if it isn't, it soon will be. You will soon get to a place of understanding or get to some point of realization. And I hope it works out for you. I really do. Scorpio, that is your reading for July. If you liked it, if there's anything here you could have liked, please hit the like button down below. If you want to leave a comment letting me know how this resonated in your life, I would love to read that. You can also share this video across your social media platforms for me. Let other people know that you're watching my videos on YouTube. That would be amazing. And of course, if you are not subscribed, but you think you might want to subscribe and you've been coming to my videos for a while, or this is your first time here and you've had a fabulous time, go ahead and hit that button as well. Doing any and all of those things really supports the channel, keeps me growing, keeps me going towards my goals, and I ultimately would love to see more and more people come to my channel and view, and more people subscribe to my channel. So if you want to help me with that, cool. Scorpio, I will be back with the mid-Julys. I promise I will be back with the mid-Julys. And then after that, I'm going to do, of course, the August readings. And then at some point, I assume I'm going to do a random. But, you know, if the energy's not there, then I'm not going to do it. But I think it's going to come at some point. Like, I feel it building up in me. I'm going to be doing a random at some point. So if you're subscribed, you'll just know about it. Anyway, Scorpio, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. Take care. Bye.